just over the years, like it became like there's different parts of it now that are overwhelming that weren't before. Like you
Yeah.
said, like we didn't have the production in the beginning, and we would be sitting in there while it's a beautiful day in the summer, and we were sewing for 10
Hours.
hours, like
Every day.
8 to 10 hours a day, like, just sitting there, just on the machine, passing her the thing, and
Cut it, pin it, like, it was just, like,
so at that time, like,
draining.
that's
Yeah.
what was so draining and overwhelming, and we were like, "Yeah, this is too much, we can't do this, this isn't fun." Doing the same exact thing every single day got to be
Cut a
a lot back then,
so
so
many hoods, so many sleeves. It was just, like, repetitive, like, "Alright, I'm getting so tired, help."
yeah. So once that became too much, that's when we knew we had to, like, shift in a different way, which again, had no idea how to do.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Mike Ryan. I'm the Chief Networking Officer at PIMS, and welcome to our second season of Minutes with Mike. Now in my 33rd year at PIMS, I've had the privilege of partnering with companies both large and small, supporting their PR and marketing through customized fulfillment and distribution that delivers measurable impact on their brand perception, boosts positive affinity, and fuels their overall brand performance. And throughout my career, I've had the chance to work alongside many talented folks. This is their story. On this show, we'll sit down with some of the world's top marketing and business thought leaders to learn more about their success, how they got there, how marketing helped them achieve their goals, what strategies they used, and what inspires them. Please join me on this journey as we learn from those who are changing the way we think about business. So sit back, enjoy. You're listening to Minutes with Mike. Very excited. Here we go. Welcome, everybody, to this episode of Minutes with Mike. I'm very excited today to have Kate and Kelly from Kamaru Clothing with us today. Welcome, ladies.
Alright, thanks for having
Yeah,
us.
very excited.
This is a long time coming. I've been asking Kelly to appear on the podcast with her partner for the longest time, since they started the clothing line. And in all transparency, we are all alumni of Mayapack High School. And I actually grew up very close to Kelly's dad, Mike Paul. It's all in the family here, for absolutely sure. So let's get started. I want to talk about the line. I want to talk about how it all started, but like, how did you guys start, right? I think I should tell our audience, these two are in a really wonderful space because they're doing what everybody says they want to do and never do, which is you find somebody who you love and trust and call your best friend. You find something that interests you and you don't mind putting your time and focus into, you collaborate and do it together, you build a company, and that company's doing really well. So congratulations for that, and kudos to the rest of us that just say it and don't do it, or say it and don't mean it, right? So how did this start? Where did you two start?
About 10 years ago, we became friends in high school, and we just definitely always had a special relationship compared to, I would say, other relationships, especially anyone else I've ever met. And we always had the idea of building a business together. Like, we'd make little comments like our Kelly and Kate's painting, or just like a puppy store. Like, we always had similar jobs, similar interests. It was just like literally hand in hand in life. It was crazy always. And then Commerce started 3 years ago now. It was Kate. And I would come check in on her, see what she was doing at home, making hoodies, and she needed help. And I jumped in, and yeah, it's just crazy.
So Kate, or this question's for both of you, but maybe Kate, like, so were you that kid that was always like doodling and trying to like come up these creative things, or were the both of you sort of always imagining like, what am I going to do? Like, we're going to talk about college and how you sort of walk the steps to get here, but like, were you the kid in elementary school and high school that was like always doodling, going, I'm going to have a business, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this with it? Were you sort of always that creative type?
Definitely, yeah, I've been creative for pretty much, I guess, since elementary school. I've always loved
DIY.
doodling, DIY. I'm pretty much somebody who thinks that I can do pretty much everything myself if I try. I've been that way since I was a kid. But yeah, I've always been like super into art, um, and that type of stuff. But I've also said since I was a small child that I wanted to do something. I don't know if I had said I was going to be an entrepreneur, but I always said that I never wanted to work for somebody else. I remember in elementary school, I used to sell these little paper they're like little paper worm things almost, and I used to sell them to my classmates for like 25 cents for a quarter, but I never knew how exactly. I kind of like to do a bunch of
That's
different
what it
things, whether
was.
it's music and like I don't know, I used to mess around on the piano, play instruments, but also I liked other mediums like painting and whatnot. But I never knew how I could turn any sort of my creativity into a business, money, or a living at all. So
Because I would guess that's the biggest part of it, right? Like, of course, there's the creative aspect and coming up with an idea, but bringing it to market, we're going to talk a lot about that too. Like, that is the part I think that scares, the people that don't have their hands in that world and don't have their head in that game. You know, I'd love to do a business doing something that I love too, but I don't know the first thing about taking that first step. And that alone scares me enough to be like, you know what, I just won't do it. So I'm sure there's a lot of that we'd like to talk about. But so you graduate high school, your friends in high school, you go off to college. You went to San Diego State and you went to Florida Atlantic. Of course, remained best of friends. We're doing your own things there. Planning on a life of entrepreneurship or planning on a degree and doing something else? What was the plan doing it?
Unfortunately, there was no plan. It was kind of just like I went to college to go for accounting, and I hated it so much once I actually started accounting. And I was like, all right, what's the easiest courses I could take? And it was hospitality management. And I liked the business side. I'm good with numbers. I was great with math. So a lot of math went into the back of that. But no part of me was like, oh, I can imagine myself in hospitality world. And then I did it for a year and I was like, I really can't imagine myself doing this forever, like just parties and like I was like, maybe I'll do event planning. I don't know. Nothing like felt right though. Kate, on the other end, didn't even get to finish college. It really didn't feel right for her.
Well, you go from New York to Florida. You go from New York to California. And
but also to preface, Kelly is years older than me.
Yeah.
And she got to go to college first, have the experience. I thought about going to school. Well, I applied to University of Miami and I also applied to San Diego. Got waitlisted at Miami. I basically was just going for the beach. I was going for warmth. I was going for the ocean.
Had nothing to do with the degree. It was
Um,
the location.
And same as Kelly, didn't really have any idea of what I wanted to do in school. So like a lot of people, I ended up just majoring in business administration, just basic.
you're getting pushback from your families at this point. Your parents are hoping for better, and you wanting to leave school after a semester or two, and you studying accounting. And you were probably like telling them like, I'm not about this. And what was their reaction to that? Like,
just get the degree.
Yeah,
just get the
just-
degree.
just
That's all.
yeah,
Just
follow
get
through
that
and get it
piece of
done.
paper. Yeah.
For me, though, the reason I actually ended up leaving was because of COVID. So I got kicked out of the dorms my first year there. So that kind of just like
Add
ruined
that
my
on top.
experience. And then I was like, all right, well, I'll try to go back out there for my second year of school and then still COVID. So I was basically just working, going back to my apartment because in California, laws
Visiting
obviously
me in Florida still.
visiting Kelly in Florida. And so obviously the COVID laws in California were way stricter. So there wasn't much going on, but there definitely was more going on where Kelly was. I just realized it wasn't really working out there. So then I was taking a gap year. I was just going down to Florida. I was going to figure it out. I was going to maybe transfer to FAU or something. So then I ended up in Florida and then eventually we both obviously came back up here.
Back to New York.
But
So you come back to New York, but then you guys go to Florida again, right? Did you live in Florida? You went back.
I went back. So I went freshman year in Florida, sophomore year, which was her senior year of high school. I was back in New York, so we were together all the time. Then she leaves, and then no one was in New York anymore. So I was like, all right, I'll try out Florida again, doing all online school this whole time. Then we were there together for a little bit, and then we were there for a year in Florida together, and then we moved back to New York, worked the same job. That was the funny thing too, is like we both just, even from California and Florida, we were working like similar jobs with dogs or whatever we were doing. It was just always on the same things in life. It was so weird. And then we moved back to New York, actually work at the same exact place together.
This is the golf
course. Then I stayed a little bit longer than her, but it was draining both of us quick.
Mhm.
We were both just
So that's like, listen, it's not your aha moment where you came up with the idea to start this brand, but as you're riding around as I'm assuming like the beer girl or doing something in it, you realize that there's something better. What was the aha moment?
end of 2022. I'm still working, picking up shifts. She's just like, just don't put me on the schedule anymore. I don't want to work. Kind of just staying home
Yeah.
with her sewing machine, just doing her thing, embroidering stuff, whatever she was doing. And then she'd put into her brain, I need to make a Pashmina hoodie.
Yeah.
And it was probably like 3 years ago now. And yeah, and the first one's funny to look at for sure.
So you go back to the handy thing, right? Like, so, you say sewing machine in this world of ours, that's a lost art too, right? Like in my generation, moms and some of the dads and all the grandmothers had sewing machines and everybody made some of their own clothes, but everybody, you got those gifts during the holidays where people could sew it and it ain't easy.
Yeah.
So where did you pick that up?
Like I said before, I had explored a lot of different mediums of art before I ever started sewing, and I ended up getting a sewing machine in Florida. We were down there, and pretty much it was a lot of trial and error. Like, it was YouTube videos on just how to use the machine in general, and then when I started sewing, like, with the pashmina, it was a lot of trial and error, because it's such a different material than some of the other clothing you have. It's not very durable, it's made of woven things, so dealt with a lot of jams in the machine, just pulled
Wasted
stuff
fabric.
through, oh, of course, like lots of different versions and prototypes. And I wasn't really going off patterns or anything. I was just kind of cutting and hoping for the best. But somehow it all ended up kind of
Figured it
working
out.
out. I don't think I have I still struggle with hemming a pair of pants, but I know how to make a pashmina hoodie perfectly. Just trial and error in YouTube.
So when I first had heard about the brand and I asked Kelly, what is it you guys do? And she used the word Pashmina with me.
Yeah.
I may have nodded as if I pretending to know what that is, but I had no idea what that was. So where did you guys come up with Pashmina? Like what's so special about that fabric? Where does it come from? Why did you select that as sort of the niche fabric that you were going to be using?
So again, while our time in Florida, we started going to a lot of EDM events, which is electronic dance music for people who don't know, or raves. And a lot of people wear these scarves for comfort, for cover up, and they're super soft, a nice material. And if you saw them, you would just be like, yeah, that's a scarf. But in this community, they're known as pashminas and just something that a lot of people accessorize with. So knowing that a lot of people in this community and the scene liked the feel of these scarves, like the look of these scarves, they have really
like
pretty
over their
patterns.
head, like almost as a hood.
They
like,
makeshift hoods with
Yeah.
them. So I'd always wondered, like, since it's so comfortable kind of just to wear as a shawl, like, I wonder if anybody's actually made something out of it. So kind of looked it up, didn't really see much online, and that's kind of where I had the idea to do it. Originally, actually, I just started to sew it into the hoods of regular, just cotton hoodies. So it just kind of like looked cool if you put your hood up. And then I'd actually done that in Florida, and then finally when I moved back to New York, I was like, "You know what? Let me just leave out the cotton hoodie and just try to make it fully with some of these."
So you begin by, and your involvement now is just you're a friend and you're telling her it's cool and go nuts and that's so cool. Make me one, that type of thing. You make a handful of them and you decide you're going to try to sell them.
Yes.
And how does that go?
So originally I'd started on Etsy. Well, originally in the start, just to kind of get a feel if anybody would even like these, I had a festival planned. So I made about, I don't know, like 8 or 10 of them, and I brought them to the festival and gave them to my friends. And they were all super excited. They loved them. So that was like really the motivation to be like, all right, like I think I could maybe put these online and do something with that. So started an Instagram, made a few videos, and then I started on Etsy. So
Blew up right away, honestly.
yeah,
Traction
my
from
friends had
street.
shared it, and a lot of the friends that I had at the time were also very involved in the EDM scene, so they shared it, whatever. But the first video I had ever posted, just for some reason. It wasn't even like a viral
Yeah.
sound. I made it with one of my favorite songs at the time. And for some reason, it just kind of blew up and people hadn't really
In the
seen
video,
these.
you're wearing the hoodie.
I was modeling all the different, I made, again, probably like 8 to 10 of them. And it was just a video clipping to all the different ones that I made. And that video did really well. I did my first drop, which was probably like 10 of them or something. And they all sold within a day on Etsy. That was the first.
So it's wonderful and scary all at the same time, right? Because it's wonderful because look at what you've done, right? And look what the potential is. The scary part is I'm positive a lot of hours went into making those 10, and in your brain you're like, well, am I gonna keep replicating this? Am I gonna work all these hours, make 10, and then sell them and model it, and then like maybe I can build this as a business, like if I think long term. So I'm assuming that's when Kelly came in, right?
Yeah, I remember I would like come home from work or like just run over after work and she'd be like packing the orders or doing whatever. And I'd just be like, this is insane. Like I have pictures of her in her dining room and it's like not even that much. And it's just like, we were both like, what is going on? This is crazy.
Handwriting each little card,
Yeah.
each customer and everything. Another part, which was just a silly part, but since all the pashminas are made of just woven strings, like when you're sewing, just strings come out left and right. And the other thing we would do was like carefully pull out each little string
Yeah.
and like cut them so it looked like a nice hemline. And so originally when I was like, Kelly, like this could be something, like maybe if you want to help do this, like maybe you can start cutting all the little strings for me. So all I have to do is sew. So that was Kelly's original job.
String cutter.
I sewed, passed it over to Kelly, and she was the string cutter.
Yeah.
That's how it was all born.
Yes, basically.
You know, with the aspects of building a business plan together, you have to realize the pros and the cons of what you bring to the table, right? Like you're a numbers person, right? You went for accounting, you didn't like it, but you're a more business sort of aspect of it and the finance end of things and how that's going to work in the banking. You're both together on strategy, but you're doing all this sort of creative adventures. When did you guys realize, like, maybe you tripped into it, maybe it was accidental, but like you have two best friends here that are both good at something, that are both enjoying this journey. Maybe if we come together, like what was it, a conversation you had? Like, let's stop doing what we're doing and let's just do this full time. Like,
I don't know. Like it was kind of just like the way it just all just flowed slowly but surely. Just like I would come home after work and then she would have all the pieces sewed and I would just go and cut them. It was like
Started as that.
yeah, and then like you made the Shopify account, and I think we were just doing pretty well. Like, we were like, all right, we probably have to make this legal because at first it's kind of just throw it on Etsy, fun idea, and then once the numbers start going up, like you have to like make it a real business, pay taxes, do things like that, and that's where I would come in, and I started going on the computer. She already had the Shopify made. But it was just making everything legal, find an accountant, do all that annoying stuff where she could still be creative and do her thing. And I'm doing like the little background stuff. And then still sitting for hours, cutting, sewing, knitting. Like that's really my job title.
I think since as of this last year, kind of like didn't have the best division of roles. Obviously,
Yeah.
we always knew that I'm not numbers. I want
Yeah.
taxes explained to me like I'm a 10-year-old. Like it's just not my thing. And if I don't have to focus on it, like it's great that I could put the energy into being the creative instead of dealing with taxes.
Yeah.
Which was also like the intimidating part of starting a business is I knew I didn't really want to deal with that.
Mhm.
Yeah, as of I would say like this past year, we've gotten a lot better in dividing our roles and kind of
Yeah.
not stepping on each other's toes. Like we do like good checks and balances, I guess. Yeah, definitely.
Beginning was like, because it's kind of neither of us obviously never did anything like this before. So like picking and choosing who did what exactly. It took us, a whole year to like fully be like, all right, you're packing, you're doing this, you're doing that. I'm making content. I'm answering, like she specifically answers DMs and I specifically answer emails. Like,
if you're wondering.
yeah, like I don't know why we like kind of both pulled those ways. But like, it's just like over time, you're going to have to figure out silly things like that. Who gets exactly what, especially when it's only two of us doing everything.
I think as we grew to more responsibilities
Yeah.
came to play. And then so it was like, oh, this is something new that we have to do and we have to take care of. So which one of us is gonna
Yeah.
do it? Kind of like, oh, now we have to start paying taxes in this state and this state.
Yeah.
Like just added responsibilities have forced us to kind of just really figure out our roles.
That was going to be my next question, because as you're now, the business is beginning to scale at this point, and you could see there's this opportunity. You have to start thinking about maybe mass production. You have to start dealing with taxes in individual states. Was there ever a time, and maybe I get an answer from the two of you, was there ever a time at that stage where to yourself, or maybe not to each other, or maybe to each other, you were like, you know what, this is way too much. Like, I just wanted to have fun doing this, and now it's not getting to be fun.
Literally, the other day we were both just like got this conversation, kind of just like, you can't stop when you have your own business. Like, there's no like 2 weeks off. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it. You're out of the office. It's 24/7. I wake up, I am Kamaruing. I fall asleep, I'm Kamaruing. It's nonstop. I'm here. I'm on the phone. Just like, it's just constantly in your brain, because you're not just like working for a company that if you quit, you don't think about it anymore. Like, this is it is us. And the other day we had this conversation, just like, it's overwhelming in a way. And I think the holidays and stuff kind of brought that like a lot out this year. Just like, and just the thought of what we're gonna do this year, we just know we're gonna be doing a lot more than ever. And it's just like, and it's just the two of us.
I think it's interesting too, like over the
over
the years, like it became like there's different parts of it now that are overwhelming that weren't before. Like I said, like we didn't have a production in the beginning. So when we first started, and we would be sitting in there while it's a beautiful day in the summer, and we were sewing for 10 hours, like
every day.
8 to 10 hours a day, like just sitting there, just on the machine, passing her the thing. And that's like,
it was just like,
so at that time, like that's what was so draining and overwhelming. And we were like, yeah, this is too much. We can't do this. This isn't fun. I don't want to do just like actually just sew. Because it's one thing to like be sewing different things, and like yes, of course, like I don't know. There was different colors and everything, but just doing the same exact thing every single day got to be a lot back then.
So many hoods, so many sleeves, it was like repetitive. Like, all right, I'm so tired.
So once that became too much, that's when we knew we had to like shift in a different way, which again, had no idea how to do. But
it's such a great set. Like, you guys are so much more business mature than you even probably realize, right? Because you're in that stage of your life where a lot of the people your age are just trying to figure it out, right? They don't know where they're going to live. They're not married. Maybe they're just getting married. They don't have kids. They're planning on kids. They're just having kids. It's a very busy time of your life. To be able to do this too, to be able to do this well and to be successful at it is such a feather in your cap. So every once in a while, you should look in the mirror and give yourselves an attaboy, because just hearing you guys talk, it's really well. So let's jump into the manufacturing show. So obviously, you can't make hundreds of pashminas at your sewing machine at speed, right? You want to be able to get enough so when you go to these events or you start this social selling, which we're going to talk about too, what's the first step in engaging overseas manufacturing, especially something like China, which is weeks and months of transit time sometimes? You're talking about different types of currency. There's a language barrier. How the hell does that happen?
Luckily, one of my dad's friends for life has been in the fashion industry his entire life since he started working. So right away we reached out to him, and he came over and saw our operations and was like laughing at us, like, this is insane, like that you're really doing all of this. And he was like, I can help you. So we communicated with him and a manufacturer, we sent a sample, went around all of that, and just have been working with them ever since. It is definitely hard because the time difference, just we only email, like it is difficult, definitely, especially with something that no one has made before, I would say.
yeah,
They've never worked with this material. They've never made anything even close to this. So it's not an easy task, but Kate's really good at it, I will say. She knows what she's doing somehow.
yeah, it was definitely, I mean, it was intimidating, but having
Chris,
like, if you just go online and you just search like manufacturer. Like it's there's so much to go through, and of course you want to find somebody who's just like reliable, ethical, trustworthy, whatever. So it was really nice to have the connection already and just kind of have an in with that. It made communication a lot easier because, like Kelly said, like we're not just doing it like most companies when they produce clothing, they're creating reels of fabric that they just reuse over and over. This, they were very confused at the fact that we're like, no, we want to use this scarf. Like, and we need to have the fringe. Like, you're not reattaching the fringe on it. Like, it needs to come off the woven scarf. And like, so they were just like, what? So we need to get the scarves first and then sew the scarves. So that was confusing to them.
And you did that all over like a FaceTime? Like
We
you didn't
had
go to
one Zoom call.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. We haven't talked to them like face to face for a little while, but we email them just back and forth.
And they are good at understanding what we're looking for, and it's because
like,
they know this world way better than we do. We don't.
But with the language barrier alone, like I can't imagine trying to explain. The ladies are wearing some of the Pashmina as we speak. I can't imagine trying to describe to them.
As Kate, it's all.
But what we did, what was the easiest way, is we sent them one that we had made before. So that's where they were able to understand it a little bit better. Because like it's really hard to, again, like you said, to put that through words, kind of like take the scarf and do this and do that. So just being able to just send them that we had already made, like gave them a good idea of how to go off of it.
And on the business end, maybe Kelly, this is a question for you. On the business end of things, like how does that work? Like how does manufacturing, you're not doing it on demand, right? Like you have to order a certain quantity of the jackets, a certain quantity of the scarves, whatever it is you want to do.
Comfort level, whatever we're feeling comfortable to order.
You have to pay for that all up front.
Once it arrives, then we pay for it all. Yeah. And then we'll slowly but surely release it in drops. But it's all comfort. Like luckily for us, we live at home. We don't really have any bills. So it's not like everything just goes back into the business. And we didn't pay ourselves for a really long time. It was kind of just like figure it out for whatever, over a year. We didn't give ourselves $1, just kept reinvesting. So it was really just comfort level and how much we want to spend, which Kate's a little more scared to spend, which is like another thing like we're good at. Like she's frugal. I'm like, who cares? Just throw it. Who cares? But it works because we need the balance. If not, who knows what would happen.
Sorry. I was going to say that's probably what you just said makes so much sense. And I'm sure that's a huge misconception and a very common mistake, right? Like they say a lot of businesses that start out small like this, what's the percentage? 80% of them fail. And I bet you a lot of it is because they're like, great, man, we just made a score. We sold $5,000 worth of these hoodies, $2,500 for you, $2,500 for me. But if you do that, if you're short-sighted like that, you only have to thank, the only person you thank is yourself as it goes under because you have no money to,
grow. It's just for growth. Like every order, we have to spend a little bit more money. That's the only way you're going to make more money, but we can't touch it ourselves.
So you place an order by email to the same manufacturer. I'm going to take X amount of this and Y amount of this. They create them, they ship them to you, and at the port is when you pay for them.
Yeah, at her house. It all gets
delivered to your house.
Yeah.
And then a whole nother warehousing and manufacturing, that end of things with the fulfillment and distribution. Yeah. Right now, currently, the way you're doing it, and one of the reasons you're talking to PIMS is you're doing it with the two of you, right? Like, again, I've seen Kelly lugging these huge boxes back and forth inside her home so she can inspect the fabric and sort of create the process that you guys do. So this is the next step in your journey, right? Realizing if you're going to take this to the next level, if we're going to grow this business from here to there, we're going to need help with that because the two of us can't do what we're doing, focus on what we want to focus on, and still be able to pull that off.
Yeah, it's been a big talk for the past few months, and it's definitely been getting overwhelming because we're trying to put out more, but that means you have to do way more work too. So if I'm inspecting thousands of pieces of clothing, it takes me quite some time. And then I also ship them all, which it's not like I don't mind because it's kind of just like I get in my zone, I do my thing. But if we want to grow the business, obviously we need a little bit of help because one
Yeah.
person.
For anybody who doesn't know, and this is, I feel like, is a rare thing. I mean, maybe we're still a small business, but Kelly goes and inspects every single piece of clothing, every single seam to make sure that, again, like I said, like this material isn't really regular. So there are some like it's not as durable, I guess. So if if our stitches are not perfect, then it's possible that our clothing will rip. And we focus very heavily on making sure that everybody gets a basically perfect piece, as
Yeah.
perfect as it can get.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a big part of the top, like that is a
My
big part
time,
of
yeah.
Kelly's time that it takes up a lot of her time. So eventually being able
Outsource.
to outsource that part for sure is hopefully on the horizon for us. And then maybe like distribution as well would be great because it is a lot
It's a
for,
lot for one little gal.
and we want to like just
Do more
get
and
more out. And
yeah.
also, if we're able to get some help on the online side, then also I'm
Or
sure we'll talk about
in-person.
like we'll be able to do some more in-person events.
While I was doing my research on the brand, of course, I went into TikTok and Instagram and all the social sites, and I saw the videos where you're modeling them and showing different, options and, cuts in with music and stuff. Very cool, very hip. At this point, where you're not brick and mortar, right? You're not selling in retail. Who knows where that will go down in the future? And it's all about this social selling. So, two-part question for the both of you. The first question is, where do you think we're going to talk about social selling second, because I think that's a bigger piece to bite. But this retail, right? Like, so again, I'm 59. When I was a kid, you go to Sears, you buy a shirt, you buy this, you ring it out, you go home. There was nothing online, obviously, that you go to a mall and you buy stuff. Christmas, you go to a mall and you buy stuff. Those days, for my generation, sadly, for your generation, that's just the way it goes, is over, right? It's a new way of doing it. So there's a lot of talk in my industry about the future of retail and the brick and mortar. Do companies invest time and space to create this footprint to sell these pieces that have the people can press buttons and do it from their home? Is the world as we see it now much more of a private shopping engagement versus going out? Do people miss going out? Some people say that it's back on the uptick and people are missing going out, and post-COVID, they want to do that. Others will say, no freaking way, it's over. I'm not spending tens of thousands of dollars filling store shelves when I can just do it online. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, with our clothes, we definitely focus more on like the festival rave world. So ours would be more of like pop-ups on the weekends. In-store things, we've talked about like maybe little boutiques and stuff. I don't know if I could imagine it in like a Macy's or Target, anything like that. We just have a very like niche market that our goal really is to just get to festivals and do quick pop-ups as much as we can. But we can't do that when we're so focused on the online behind the scenes stuff. Like we can't even do it because if we're gone for a festival, you're gone for at least a week. So then that's a whole week of packing and inspecting that's just gone. If we want to do multiple, it's hard. So I don't know if we would be ever think about like stores and stuff, but hey, who knows? I don't know. Pashmina hoodie, a lot of people love. My stepmom wears it all the time, and she gets stopped by anyone. And who knows? Some of the old women might love it
Yeah.
if they knew more about it.
I think a lot of people like shop online anyways. But I think a lot of people prefer to shop for clothing in person. So some of the reactions we got when we were at the festival, it's like shopping at festivals is one of my favorite things to do. I love going in there. A lot of the stuff like you don't really see online at festivals. And again, you can like try stuff on, feel stuff. I think again, like texture is such an important part of our business. So being able to actually have customers or just anybody come in and actually feel what we're selling is a very big selling point for us. So I think that's why it's really important and a goal for us to be in person more, because texture and comfort is
Like we did our
the main
first,
part.
we did our first big festival in August, and so many people would just like come by, and we'd literally hear it. They would touch, and they'd be like, "Whoa,
It's our number one comment.
yeah," where they didn't
so
expect it. They just kind of picked it up to just look at it, and they're like, "Wait a second," and then instantly that would bring them into our booth.
Yeah.
First, just seeing it online, having no idea what it feels like, just seeing reviews. Like people will leave reviews saying it's softer than they thought, but it's the in-person thing that
Yeah.
changed everything for both of us.
It's kind of like these pop-up shops, right? Like in the cosmetic industry and beauty industry, they have a lot of pop-up shops where they'll, go out and find another company that's starting out or in the similar situation to them, and they'll sell for the day or the weekend. Same with these raves or these events. I have never been to one personally, but it sounds like it's a huge group of people that come to listen to music. It's like a concert of old, right? And they have people selling their touting their wares, and they come in, and like you said, it's the first chance to actually touch and feel. And that seems to be a really successful sale for you guys, being able to do that. What about this social end of things, right? Like, so you're on Instagram and TikTok, and now there's TikTok Shop, and there's a Facebook Marketplace and all this sort of stuff where you can sell. How does that work? Like, you have to set up accounts with them to create these videos. Like, walk me through that process, how that works.
So yeah, social is definitely my portion, my side. We only sell on our website right now. We did have a few things up on like TikTok Shop, which I think I would like to set up a little bit more because I just would like to have like different markets. But for now, we have TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, our main platforms. We also have like Pinterest too, which just automatically puts our posts onto Pinterest. So if somebody searches festival or ravewear or something, it might pop up on Pinterest. Same thing with Instagram and TikTok. Social media has definitely been our biggest. We have barely paid for advertising, really, just because of social media. We've also used some influencer marketing of having influencers who are very involved in the EDM scene. I was going to say mostly, but all of those influencers are involved in the EDM scene and have helped us promote. But also what has been the really cool thing, I think, about Instagram and TikTok is that our followers just like to post videos in them. And
Post it. That's the trick.
yeah, because we repost it as well, so everybody can see. So not only are they getting like a little spotlight on our page, it's also just a way for us to promote what they're wearing. And going back to like shopping online and shopping in person, a lot of people find it helpful to see other people with different bodies in our clothing because I'm the only one really modeling on our actual page. So having
Shorter, taller, heavier, thinner.
everything, all different shapes and sizes.
It's everything.
Men, women too.
Yeah, because it's not just selective to women. There's,
But yeah, so I don't know. Social media just has done everything for our business. It continues to in just like a lot of different ways. So
I set myself up on your website as a follower, right? So I do get those cool alerts, right? I think you guys do a really good job in engaging that end of things too, making them feel, I think, this whole world of community, right? I hear that on this podcast a lot, community, right? If you can build a following based on a community that kind of feels you and, is in your same world. Here's two successful women that are really moving forward with their business. I want to be like them, or they look great in this clothing. I want to be like that. Being able to build that community helps for sales, right? Because I'm sure a lot of it's referral based or people buying their second or third piece, right? Or buying it for somebody else. And two, it just keeps you relevant, right? So I get a text that says there's going to be a flash sale coming up in an hour. I didn't buy one yet, but I'm almost like tempted. I'm like, I feel like I'm part of this, right? Like, how do you guys keep up with that? Is it something you regularly schedule? Like, how does that work? Like, is that a social thing? Is that through Shopify? Like, how does that type of stuff work?
Yeah, it's the text. We do text messages right before drops, and Kate will send it 5 minutes before the drop. And it's funny, you'll see like there's like 3 or 4 visitors. You send the text, and then it's hundreds of visitors right away because that's just like that's the one marketing thing we'll always do and pay for. But I said this to Kate last week too. Like, I'm happy that we're not like obnoxious because I'll subscribe to text and then I'll get a text every day and then people unsubscribe.
Yes.
Like, we'll just do important things. Like, it's not like, come check it out on our website right now for fun. Like, it's like, in 5 minutes, we're doing a drop specifically, and she'll always put what we're releasing too. So they'll know. Like, one time we accidentally sent a text of something we weren't dropping. And
people thought we were dropping these, and I think we were just dropping hats.
Yeah.
And so like 500 people went to the website, and they were like, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, wrong text.
Definitely upset people for sure. Oops. But yeah, that's it though for the marketing. That's all we do. And then like we did a sale for the first time in a while the other day. We sent a text for that. But we're not obnoxious and it's good because I know I get once I subscribe, I'm like, I know I need to unsubscribe
Yeah.
because it's just annoying.
Mhm. It's just a great way to like to reach customers
Yeah.
directly.
Mhm.
And also like it's a Shopify app basically, and you have the option you could do email marketing or you can do text message marketing. But personally for me, my email, I rarely usually like I look at Kamaru email, but I don't really look at my personal email much. And I feel like a lot of people maybe in our generation or in general have like 20,000
Yeah.
emails
Yeah.
just sitting there.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of marketing emails from different companies. So I feel like we kind of strategically chose to do text messages because everybody looks at their texts and like right when your phone buzzes, you get a notification for it. Not many people have notifications on for their email. So that's why I think texts are a great thing. And also it saved us from people being upset with us saying, I missed the drop. I didn't know it was happening. It's like, well, you could sign up for the text message, get reminded next time.
Yeah.
So
And Instagram too, you could do that. You could post a story to like set a reminder. So people could literally click the story and it'll remind them when the drop is coming with the countdown. So both
there's a couple
ways.
different reminders. So
Yeah.
if they miss it, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
sorry, but
So it feels like you guys have been in business forever, right? But it's been just a few years, right? So where do you see, what is it, 2026? Where's this business going? Where's it going to be in the next 3 or 4 years?
Hopefully, like, I don't know. We both have a really good feeling about this year. We did the festival in August and we both left like, all right, we're going to hibernate this winter. 2026 is just going to be insane. Like, we're just learning more and more every single day how to go about things. We're making new connections, trying to figure out what to do with our clothes and everything. And then we just had a meeting a few weeks ago about potential collabs with festivals. And it was just a quick meeting talk, but it's like, it can become so real this year. It's just going to take time. And we just need to put our focuses on all new things. It's just, we'll see. Who knows?
yeah. I mean, I think
This is going to be a crazy year.
this is going to be our first year where we're kind of like we figured stuff out now. Like we're pretty good with knowing if we place an order here, then we get it at this time because we also have to place all of our orders 3 months in advance. Like
at least.
I don't really know how other companies work, but like the scarves take 30 days to produce, so it adds an extra time. Anyways, we've figured out like how to place orders at the correct time. We did a really big festival, figured out the logistics of that. We have all the supplies now. So it feels like now we have all of the tools and supplies. I think we still have a ton to learn.
Yeah,
like,
it's just going to every
there's
day.
just learning experiences every single day. But I think we feel most equipped and prepared, I think, this year. And that's why we feel confident that it will be like a pretty good year of going out and about, doing stuff
Try to
online.
get to
and
maybe 3 festivals this year.
that's the goal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we did 2 last year, and then we're going to try to probably do 3
Bigger
bigger ones this year. I think also just something we keep in mind is we want to grow like a lot, but also not do it too fast because then things can get really out of control quickly. And again, if it's just the 2 of us, like we don't want to grow more than we have the energy for because we tend to
overwork.
so it's a little bit
And then we cry
and underpay
ourselves and like not give ourselves enough rewards is really what it is. Like just keep working. And then if I'm away for 4 days, I'm like, oh my God. Like we went on vacation and I brought boxes with me to inspect clothes on vacation. Like that's kind of,
so it's been a tough to learn how to balance.
Yeah.
Because like Kelly said, like I wake up, check my phone, look at stuff. And again, like obviously you can put your phone away and do whatever, but also then say you're with your family and then the conversation with your family is also, how's the business going? And it's like, I can't like shut it off.
I would guess that's probably the best part of this company, right? Like, so of course you don't agree on everything and you have your disagreements, but because you're best friends deep down inside and you truly care about one another, that sort of works everything out, right? Like there's knowing that in the back of your head. It's not like I don't want to say a normal, but a regular business practice where you're in business with somebody to make money. This is a relationship that is going to stand that test of time. And that's probably why you're so successful. So as we close this out, I just wanted to kind of bounce off you guys. So there's somebody watching this who's just going into college that doesn't want to take accounting or is going all the way to San Diego and not sure where they want to be. They want to start their own business. What would your advice be to them?
Just try it. Literally. If you have the feeling inside of you and you really believe that like you could do it, you have to just do it. But live at home if you can. Just stay home, focus. Like that's the other good part for both of us is, I mean, we moved back to New York and we really don't do anything but the business, which is kind of what helped us grow, I would say, is just we both have been able to just focus so much on this one thing and build it instead of like getting distracted. We don't go out really. We don't, which is like sad that we're in our 20s. But like in the long run, it's going to be so worth it for both of us. And now it's been almost 3 years and we're going to be able to hopefully get out more and do more. But like for the 3 years, we did have to just grind and focus. And that's really what it is. Don't get distracted, really, I would say.
I think also like if you don't have, well, even if you have the business idea, you maybe should probably still graduate college so you could have something as a backup. I think both of us, especially me, like I was always blessed with the security of like just having a home to go back to, which not everybody has. Also, I've been working for a long time, so I've saved up a lot of money, but we both made sure to do that. It's not like we made our first grand, whatever, and then we're like, let's quit the golf course today. Like, let's stop today. Like, we made sure to be calculated and save up all of our money so we could actually do it again, like prepared to not pay ourselves for an entire year. Yeah. So I think like just being prepared and cautious, but also like still just doing it in general is going to be a risk, but to make sure you're prepared in other ways. And also like, I just think that a big reason that this has worked out for us is because it's something we both actually like. Like Kelly wears this thing every single day. I love going to these festivals. I love the people that we create for. Like you've never been to a festival, but the people who go to these things are just so nice and just understanding. I think that's also like made the business process a lot easier too, like the people that we're serving. But like tie it back together is just the fact that like if you do something you love or if whatever you sell you actually like, then I think like it makes things a lot easier. So like don't just grab any little thing, just be like, I want to sell it. Like I don't think it's gonna work out for you. It might. Like a lot of people sell little random things, but just the fact that that we both genuinely enjoy what we do, what we sell, and who we serve, I
Willing
think
to risk whatever it is for it too.
Yes. Yeah. And sacrifice our time and our, I don't know, lives, I guess, our early 20s for this. It's like a pretty easy decision to sacrifice.
So if I'm interested in either buying something or contacting you two for whatever reason, how do I do that?
We are KamaruClothing.com, Kamaru. Instagram, Kamaru at Kamaru Clothing, TikTok at Kamaru Clothing, and that's how.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Congratulations on how far you've come. And I feel like I have a front row seat in the success as it moves forward. So best of luck.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care.